I'm a public figure now. People expect me to lie. Be encouraging.
You can't resist this.
Who could?
You know who could.
That was a clip from Wicked for Good, and joining us now to talk more about the movies of the week is Chris Bumbray, film critic and managing editor at JoBlo.com. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining me.
Hey, my pleasure, Lauren. Thank you for having me.
So first up, we have Wicked for Good, which I'm personally very excited about. There's been a lot of anticipation around its opening weekend. What did you think of the movie?
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I mean, the thing is, I think the first film, it ends with, you know, such a showstopper, right? Defying gravity. And I think that's kind of the climax. And I believe that, you know, everybody's always said that the Broadway play, the second half, was never quite as good as the first half. And I think the same can be said for the film, because where do you go after that huge climax? That said, you know, still very entertaining. Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo are great. Erivo especially as kind of a once-in-a-generation voice. I have to say, I saw this at a packed theater of people cosplaying as Elphaba and Glinda, and when it was over, they were cheering, they were clapping, they sang along with a bunch of the songs, so it certainly worked for the audience. Not, for me, not as good as the first one, but still enjoyed it overall.
Okay, and what rating are we giving this? And what rating did we give the first one? I'm curious.
So first one, I'd say was probably about a 4 out of 5 for me, and this one I would say is about a 3 out of 5. That said, audiences sure seem to love it because it's got one of the biggest opening weekends of the year, the third biggest actually, 151 million, which is pretty great.
Okay, next up we have Rental Family. An American actor starts working for a Japanese rental family service to play stand-in roles in other people's lives. Really interesting plot here. How was that one?
Yeah, very quirky. I mean, it's a very entertaining movie. Brendan Fraser, one of the best things that's happened in recent years is that he's really kind of mounted a nice comeback. And yeah, this kind of cast him in one of those roles that, you know, he would have played probably in the 2000s, a little bit lighter from the heavier stuff that he's been doing. It's a really interesting travelogue of Japan. It was all shot in Tokyo. And the cast is great, but Fraser, you know, he has this big kind open face, and I think that nobody kind of conveys empathy like he does. And in the movie, he's basically this surrogate family member who starts to really care about the people that he gets involved with. And I think that it was perfectly tailored to his personality. And, you know, I'm just happy to see him back on the big screen.
I totally agree that he's made a great comeback. What would you rate this one?
3.5 out of 5. I really enjoyed it.
Okay, lastly, let's talk about Jay Kelly. A famous movie actor embarks on a journey of self-discovery. What kind of film is this one? What did you think?
Kind of a comedy drama, you know. George Clooney plays a guy, an actor, very much kind of based on himself, I think. You know, if you're a fan of his, and I think everybody is kind of a fan of George Clooney's, it's definitely really worth watching. It's in theaters now. It comes on Netflix on December 5th. But the thing about it that really kind of sells the movie is, in a smaller role, Adam Sandler, who plays his manager / agent, is absolutely terrific. This was a very good movie. I think if you're in the mood for a drama that has some comedy, or a comedy that has some drama, it's definitely worth checking out, especially once it hits Netflix. This was probably my favorite movie of the week, and I gave it a 4 out of 5.
All right, I personally don't know anyone that is not a George Clooney fan.
No, he's the last movie star in some ways, right?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for your time, Chris. That is Chris Bumbray, film critic and managing editor at JoBlo.com.